Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Corey with Skinnyfat Duck, and we are about to probably lose this question challenge with Ibn Wessler in the game everybody's talking about, Chicken Police Paint It Red. Let's go.
Wessler is a tricky guy. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about him, so I have to be cunning. I can't just pin him against a wall. Yet.
Well, I'm known for my smarts. Alright.
How did you feel when you heard about the blackmail?
Honestly, I found it ridiculous.
And now?
Now I'm kinda interested. But I wouldn't call it blackmail yet. They're just empty threats. There were no demands.
Good point.
Thank you. Are we done?
No, not quite.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Why didn't you just call the police?
Huh? Why? What would have been the use of that? A few messages aren't enough for a case. You should know that.
Harassment makes for a case. So do threats.
Who were you trying to convince, Sonny? Huh? They would have laughed in my face. Anyway, you know, the police station. Once I set foot in there, I'm not coming out again.
Your lawyers are too good for that, Ibn.
Yeah, I guess you're right, chicken.
Alright, well, that went the wrong way.
Why would anyone have reason to blackmail your girlfriend?
I don't know, maybe because she's my girlfriend?
You think that's enough?
It's plenty enough.
Good point.
Oh, are you finally getting to a point? Or do you really want to dig around in my private life? Because, people who do that end up in the alley, if you catch my drift.
Very much so, Mr. Wessler. Wessler is tougher than I thought, and he's secretive. It's time to gently beat around the bush.
Alright.
Were there any similar incidents in Natasha's past? I mean, threats, blackmail, enemies or insane fans, psychopath pianists, perhaps.
I don't know about enemies, but she's a celebrity. A star shining bright in Clawville's night sky. Do you understand? She gets endless fan mail. It could be anybody. I wouldn't overreact.
Natasha doesn't feel that way.
I've noticed.
Okay, we're going the right direction.
Do you think
Let's try
one of
that.
the fans is the culprit? Someone who can't take rejection, maybe?
Why not? It's quite common.
It's a typical motive, indeed. Any ideas who it could be?
Yeah. Attorney General Hamtaro is obsessed with Natasha. But he's, more like the kiss on the hand, flowers bowing type. Throwing bricks through the window is not his style. I can't think of anybody else. Or rather, I can think of everybody else. About half the city, actually.
I get it.
Alright. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens.
The mob boss and the pussycat, eh? How did you even meet?
Huh? Are you trying to piss me off, Corpora, so I accidentally let some big secret slip out, huh?
A simple answer would work.
You know, Natasha, she's both connoisseur and muse, So, how was it, when was it exactly?
You don't remember? That's strange.
Ah, yeah, the millions, of course. It was like another lifetime. It happened right here, only this place was called the Millions back then. She was a dancer. Behind the scenes, I arranged opportunities for her on the big stage. Yeah, maybe she still doesn't know it was me. Then one day, I invited her for a drink with a promise that if she was willing to meet me, I'd buy the place for her.
I guess she was willing.
The next day, she had the club in her name.
Well, that is romantic.
Yeah, there are many kinds of romance, Birdman. There's cheap and there's expensive. You get what you can afford.
Do you live in the same house as Natasha?
Oh, you're really something. Natasha's a free woman, but mostly, yeah, at my place in Goldtown. But she has her own kind of a weekend house.
How often does she use the weekend house?
Yeah, every other weekend, roughly.
I see. That's very important information.
Yeah, if you say so.
I'm gonna push.
Natasha feels like she's in grave danger, yet she's still going out alone.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at. But I'm 100% sure of her loyalty. She's gone out very rarely since this started, and mostly in my company. Yeah, you know, I'm not sure if you do, but in our social circles, banquets and dinners are frequent.
Illegal gambling nights.
You got me there. Yeah, you're right. Natasha is crazy about the roulette wheel.
Always putting it all on the red, right?
Yeah, you're a real rotten bastard, Sonny. Although, yeah, always on the red. Yeah, right.
So, can we meet your lady?
I don't see why not. But first, please, listen to her sing. She's on soon.
Hey. All right, the legendary chicken police back in action. Still a bit weary, but untarnished. Good work. The important clue is Ibn, trying very hard to change the subject when it comes to the threats. He obviously knows more than he's willing to tell.
Thank you for your time. We'll be seeing you.
Nice.
No
That went
doubt
better than I
about
thought it would.
that, unfortunately.
Hey, we should grab a coffee or something, Olivia. You know, for old time's sake.
Pleasure to meet you, gentlemen. Goodbye.
Oh.
Please, take a seat. The show's gonna start soon.
This should be weird. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
Bourbon moon hangs in the sky. My man has left with a golden smile. This is so funny. You can kill me, honey. I'm already dead inside. My body is an empty bottle. Come on, baby.
Sonny. Sonny.
Say, Chloe is still lying in my bed, and it's dead.
All right.
That was, unique.
Oh, that is cute. Nobody has ever given me such a unique compliment before.
Forgive me, my name is Santino Featherland.
I thought
Knocking
so.
stuff off my
You
desk,
look
sorry.
More or less like I imagined.
More or less.
Sometimes less is more, Mr. Featherland.
Ahem. You were amazing, dear. As always.
Could you be my little furball and fetch me a tale?
But of course.
Ibn will be back soon. We'll have a few minutes to talk. Then he'll end the conversation and throw you both out.
With all due respect, ma'am, we're not that easy to get rid of. Doesn't matter who's trying, believe me.
Doesn't matter, he'll do it. That's why I'm telling you. I don't want a scene. My room's upstairs. Meet me there in 20 minutes. Come alone, Sonny. You'd be too conspicuous otherwise.
Hey,
I understand. You know, they call him Target Marty at the station.
I don't have time, Mr. Featherland.
Sure thing, Natasha. I'll come to your room. 3 knocks, a short pause, then another 3.
I'll be waiting. Go, before he comes back.
I knew she was trouble the first time I saw her. She wore danger like a perfume. It was simply part of her being, and it attracted me, like light attracts the moth people.
I love this guy.
I wanted to be the microphone as she whispers her melodies, or the pillow she rests her feet on while reading some cheap romance. I wanted to be her nightdress, barely touching, barely covering her marble skin. But I was a cop, and a lifetime wouldn't be enough to rid myself of what a woman like her hides under her makeup. Keep your distance, Sonny. Just keep your distance.
All right. Let's take a look.
Gee, that is a unique picture, and kind of daring. I admit I've never seen anything quite like it before.
Yes, I admit it's a little daring. I keep it. It evokes good memories. A precious old friend of mine. A most wonderful artist.
He's got an eye, that's for sure, considering his model.
Was that supposed to be some kind of compliment?
I don't know. I don't compliment often. Not on purpose, anyway.
Oh, you're funny.
I bet you spend a lot of your time staring into the mirror. Do you even recognize yourself?
Maybe you were trying to be rude, but, you know, that's a very good question.
I was just trying to be rude.
Oh, really? Well, then I'm sorry.
Don't mention it.
That's a weird exchange. Let's look at the
You got a
chandelier.
beautiful place here, Natasha. A peaceful little island on the ocean of madness, with very classy furniture.
Ibn likes me surrounded by elegant things, you know?
You're an elegant thing yourself, sweetheart.
Oh, that's charming. Thank you, detective.
Let's look at our journal. Ibn's trying very hard to change the subject when it comes to the threats. He obviously knows more than he's willing to tell. We saw that. Deborah is not who I meant to click. Alright, so that added the picture. Let's make sure we clear all of this off first. What did I miss? Oh, down at the bottom. Ibn was acting quite strange, and he hesitated when I mentioned of how he met Natasha. It would be interesting to hear the story from another point of view. Alright, I assume that's what we're doing here. Let's take a look at her.
This woman's aware of her charm, and she knows how to use it. A rare and dangerous combination.
How do you like your bourbon, Mr. Featherland?
In a glass. But thanks, I had a couple before I came. I feel like this may be a long night.
I hope it doesn't bother you if I have one myself.
I get offended if women don't drink in my company.
Oh, you are a funny guy.
So I've been told. Anyway, lovely room.
Yes. Look, Mr. Featherland.
It's sunny. Saves us a lot of time.
Okay, Sonny.
So, why am I here?
You know, men tend to babble in my presence.
It must be exhausting.
It is. But you're not the type to beat around the bush.
Is it too banal if I tell you it's an occupational hazard?
Terribly.
So can I start the unpleasant questions?
I've asked you here so you can do what you do best.
Really? I thought you asked because you wanted me to investigate for you. But if you'd rather be drinking...
You do have a sense of humor. How reassuring.
Only if I'm a bit hungover. That's usually quite common.
Oh, please drop the act about being the alcoholic, heartbroken ex-cop, Sonny. It would undoubtedly suit you, but I've seen you scanning my room. From the second you set foot in here, you started working, and everything I say gets sorted in your brain. Am I right?
That's a bit of an exaggeration, but yeah, it's something like that.
Well then, Sonny, come at me.
Oh, that's something I don't hear often. With pleasure.
All right. Let's look here. Natasha is a mysterious woman indeed and seems dangerous too, but she's undoubtedly in serious trouble. The question is she the source? Is she the source of the problem, or is it someone else? Let's find out. Here we go, guys.
Natasha is a
Let's see what happens.
woman. I can exploit that, but I must be careful. Every part of her oozes danger.
I really like it when the chicken police are looking straight at me.
That was a remarkable performance.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Do you perform here frequently? You're also the owner, if I'm not mistaken.
Sadly, I don't have the time, but the stage still calls my name, and I perform just a few times a year, and always with a new song.
So that was all the excitement.
I have many admirers, if that's what you mean. Yes.
The picture on the wall.
Let's go back to that.
Quite daring.
Only if you knew how old I was at the time.
I think I'm on a slippery slope here.
Come on, don't be shy. Ask me.
All right. How old were you?
Did you really believe I'd tell you?
You're quite a player, aren't you?
Life is anything but a game, detective.
You tell me. Do you think one of your admirers might be behind the threats?
Those who admire me usually idolize me. No, I don't think it's one of them.
You know, the soul of an animal is extremely complicated. Sometimes all it takes is a bad look or some small rejection to turn admiration into hate.
That's a stillborn theory. No one hates me if they once loved me, Mr. Detective.
Ah, I see. Why
Let's give that a shot.
She's a nice girl, but why
Try and
didn't
keep the
you
crosshair
come to
out of
me?
the way of the
Didn't
screen
you
as much as I
ask her
can.
the same thing already?
I did, but I like to hear it from all sides.
Well, since this whole thing started, I admit I'm not too keen on leaving my home. When I do, it's only with an escort.
Ibn Wessler has nothing to do with this?
Ibn has everything to do with me. Almost everything. But I didn't want to upset him with this. He thinks I'm overreacting.
Deep behind the diamond skin lies the truth. It doesn't matter how hard Natasha's trying to hide it. She's scared. Now I must concentrate to finally find out what I want to know. What was in those threats, exactly?
The message itself is not a threat. It's just a word.
But a word again and again is threatening.
Exactly.
So,
You really don't have any idea which word could be used for a woman like me?
I guess I do. Yes, I think I know what it could be.
Whore. Cat got your tongue? Am I right? You heard it. I said what you were thinking. And yes, that was in the message. That was printed on the paper and painted on my wall in giant red letters.
Well, thank you for your honesty.
Let's find out about Fillmar. We're doing pretty well
What about
here.
Fillmar? Is he here because of you?
Mr. Lowe helped me before, and yes, he was the first I approached.
You've managed to curb my enthusiasm a little.
Doesn't keeping 2 irons in the fire give me a better chance? But you don't have to worry. He didn't find anything. And he's not interested anymore, no matter how much I offer to pay him.
Why?
You'll have to ask him.
I think I'll do that.
Let's go with this
I'm
one.
not a fan and not an inside job. Who do you suspect?
Aren't you supposed to know that?
Usually, yes, but I've got nothing to go on, and you don't have a hunch.
Maybe I do. But first, I want to know if you'll even accept my case.
I'm here, aren't I?
That's true, but I must know if I can trust you.
The proof of the pudding is in the eating.
I wish it was that simple.
Natasha is a mysterious woman, but I must gouge out at least one of her secrets. Enough games. It's time to know why I'm here. Let's stop beating about the bush. How do you know Molly?
I'm prepared for that question, but it's still not easy.
You knew very well that if you threw in the name of my wife, I'd come to you no matter how vague and suspicious the case was. I just want to know if you're simply a manipulator or you're really that desperate.
I really know her. I'm not lying.
Oh, really? How? Were you a nurse, too? Forgive me, but I don't think so.
Don't be rude and so cynical, Sonny.
I'm sorry, but that's me when feline claws are at my throat.
Molly is an old and good friend of mine. She has nothing to do with this, but I knew that if I didn't mention it to you, you wouldn't have come.
Yeah, Natasha, you're right there.
I knew you were a decent fowl, that you would help me. That's what you're famous for.
Don't go there. Flattery doesn't work.
Look, forgive me. I shouldn't have brought your wife into this.
You're right, you shouldn't have. But to be honest, I don't think she's my wife anymore. On paper she is, but I haven't seen her in years.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Really?
I did. I knew. I checked you out before I sent
We're
Deborah.
breaking through the icy facade.
Luckily, this case is getting more and more intriguing.
You know what? Let's go.
You played me
Full
from the
bore.
start, didn't you?
It wasn't my intention.
I'm an old cock, Natasha. I've played too many of these games, and I've been on the losing side often enough.
So, you're going to walk away?
You're damn right. I don't know if it's worth it for me.
Look, Sonny, money's not an issue.
Oh yeah, your fawn had already mentioned that. But unfortunately, it'll be hard to spend all that dough when I'm dead.
May have messed up.
Dead? Don't even say that.
Do you have a gun?
Me?
Of course you, Natasha. Do you have it on you?
Not at the moment.
Well, let me give you some advice. Keep it with you, always. Maybe in your purse.
You don't think they, whoever they are, would hurt me?
Don't be naive, Natasha.
You're right. I'll keep it with me.
I don't want to scare you, but 2 cops snooping around can mess something like this up, even if it's just 2 roosters.
You'll keep snooping? Thank you, Sonny.
Maybe you're getting yourself into even deeper trouble with me. Thank me when this is all over.
Okay. Decent cop. Alright, so that's how you do it, partner. Not quite like old times, but you still got it. The old rooster still remembers some tricks, eh? The threat, or rather the threatening word in the messages sent to Natasha is simply whore. It's brief, but says a lot regardless. Alright, well,
Just one
I'll take
more
that.
thing, Sonny.
Natasha?
Please, come to 37 Rochester Street in Flower Town tonight. I'd like to show you something that could be of a great help in your investigation.
I was afraid this was coming. Why there? Why not here and now?
It's something I keep hidden there. I won't take the risk of Ibn or one of his men seeing it.
Isn't Ibn too dangerous to keep secrets from?
Sonny, a woman is naked without her secrets. I knew you would understand.
Oh yeah, I understand everything. So, when do we meet? The night is almost over.
I'll be there in an hour. Don't be early, and don't be too late.
Look, Natasha, you know,
Please, this is very important to me.
sure, I get it. I'll be there.
Thank you.
Until later, Natasha.
Goodbye, Sonny.
alright. So, as far as items go, we now have a key. Alright. In our handy dandy notebook, Natasha's afraid and her fear is genuine, but she isn't telling me everything regardless, and I don't like it. Natasha has invited me to her weekend house to show me something. In any other situation, I'd be glad about it, but in this case, I'm worried. The threat, or rather, okay, we've read that. Filmar. Seems Filmar also used to work for Natasha, but he got out of the case before the ground got too hot. Anyway, he kept a piece of evidence, as any good PI would do, which could be very useful to us. Alright, let's exit and see what happens here.
Weren't you supposed to be waiting in the car?
I was bored to tears, Sonny. I also thought maybe something happened to you.
You thought
Thanks for checking on me,
Natasha had
Marty.
eaten me alive, huh?
Well, who knows? You're such a fragile little thing.
I'm too old for this, Marty.
Then next time, leave the dangerous predators to me.
I didn't mean that, Marty. I meant you.
Oh.
Alright, so I think we're going to wrap this up here. Let's, we still got to talk to Filmar. We could probably talk to Olivia. She's got neat hair. Alright, we will save that for next time. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like what you saw, give us a like, consider subscribing. Again, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.